Tavares.
Right in the butt?
What?
No.
Less than a minute now.
Tool time for 200.
This term for a long-handled gardening tool can also mean an immoral pleasure seeker. Ken?
What's a hoe?
No.
Spell garbage.
Garbitch.
What's going on, everybody? It's Monk Dan. I'm back in the building, man. I'm glad to be streaming. I'm glad to be streaming. And you know what I'm excited about? First of all, thanks for joining my channel. Thanks for checking me out. I really appreciate that. I would really appreciate it if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you are subscribed, like the video. If you like the video, also just send me a comment saying, what's up, Monk Dan? Just let me know that you're out there, man, that you're feeling my shit, that you're enjoying the video. If you don't like it, just, just keep me engaged. You feel me? I'm excited. I got my fucking Stream Deck working. How? Well, I had to take off 6.9 and I put the old version 6.8 back on. And now my Stream Deck is almost complete. It's just one button that's not working. Well, it's working, but there was some complications. So I'm excited about that. Super duper excited about that. All right. Today's topic, Outwit the Devil? God? Nope. Nope. Yo, man. If you didn't know, and if you are new to the channel, I read not textbooks, but I read books. I am reading books for many purposes, but one in particular purpose is to gain wisdom. First of all, I should tell you this channel is to gain wisdom, to share wisdom, seek and share wisdom through philosophy. That is my mission. That is my purpose for this channel. And in the process, I read different books. And one of the many books that I'm reading is Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. This book was recommended a long time ago, and I finally picked it up. In essence, right now, what I am trying to do is get some wisdom get wisdom so that I can maneuver in this new society that we are embracing right now. This new AI revolution. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. There's no fucking middle class. Our economy is trash, so on and so forth. I am trying to get acclimated in this, but not just get acclimated. I am trying to become wealthy. Fuck it, I want to gain wealth. If you're not trying to gain wealth, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, man. Right now, it's just plain and simple. It's either you have it or you don't. If you have it, great. If you don't, you just get priced the fuck out. How about this? You are already priced the fuck out. I am already priced the fuck out. I am trying to get myself in the wealthy category. Right? So I'm reading all these books. And what's awesome about this title right here, it says The Secrets to Freedom and Success. I am looking for freedom. I am looking for success. So, with that being said, that's why I chose this book, because it was recommended. And so I was like, okay, fuck it. And I had it for a while, but now it's like, oh shit, let me pick it back up so I can gain some insights. Chapter 1, just a small review. I'm not going to go too deep into the review of the chapters. Please check out my follow previous streams about it. Chapter 1, Napoleon Hill. I'm on board with him. I'm like, hell yeah, man. That's where I am. I'm trying to discover this inner self, this other self that's within me, to pull myself up from all this craziness, the inequalities, if you will, the downfall or the hardship, the economic hardships that we're facing. I mean, this guy was spot on, man, with chapter 1. I was like, yes. Had me fired up. Chapter 2 was a heel turn. Turns out this motherfucking book is a goddamn religion book. Womp, womp, womp. Trash! I was like, man, this is some bullshit, bro. Turns out this fucking book is it's not a book from my perspective, it's not a book to help you gain wisdom to become successful so far. unless he does another heel turn. This book quickly became a religious, spiritual book, if you will. I'm disappointed because the first chapter set me up for something, like, man, okay, I need guidance, I need wisdom, how to become successful, how to get free. And I got disappointed. Chapter 2, disappointment. Now, chapter 3, here we are. He has finally met the devil. He is interviewing the devil. Some say he's not meeting the devil. Some say he is. Whatever the case may be, that is irrelevant to me. I don't give a fuck about that type of shit. If you didn't know, just to let you know, religion is not my thing. I don't care about religion. If you do have a religion or you believe in religion, that's fine. That is your choice. You have every right to believe so. That is your prerogative. I am not a religious channel. I don't want to be. And I hope I do not embark in or embrace in a religion. Religion is not based on facts. It's not based in logic. It's not based in reasoning. This book, this chapter, kind of gets into some of that stuff. Chapter 3, well, let's talk about it. Usually what I try to do is I wanted to pick a few parts of the chapter so the stream won't be long. However, this chapter, I had to go through it, man, because he's asking some questions to the devil. Outwitting the Devil. If you notice how I have in the title, Outwitting the Devil / God, for that very reason, because as I read chapter 3, for someone who doesn't have a religion or don't believe in religion and don't want a religion, someone on the outside with a rational mindset, I am looking and I'm saying, wow, what he's depicting as the devil seems exactly like God. Once again, they seem synonymous. They seem as the same. All right. Let's get into it, man. Chapter 3. Some of the problems that I had in chapter 3. One problem I noticed is that Napoleon Hill assigns a gender to the devil. You might think that is very petty or very annoying or very silly, whimsical. It might be very goofy for me to point this out. I point this out because it's a problem. Why is it a problem? Well, when you assign a gender to a deity or something out of this realm, now I have a problem with that, because now you, the person that embraces the religion, you, the one that says God and angels and all of this spiritual stuff above you, when you assign a gender to me, that means you are putting that thing that which is above you, you're putting that thing right at your level. How can I relate? How can I rephrase that or make it make more sense to you? If I say him, she, I'm referring to a mortal being, something that's human, something that is mortal. It doesn't even have to be a human. It can be a dog, a female dog, or a female caterpillar. So we're assigning gender to mortal things. But when you get to the point to where you're assigning gender to immortal things, that makes it very, you minimize the thing that which you think is a higher being, something that's beyond you, something that is immortal. You mortalize it by putting a gender to it. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And I know in some religions, Christianity, they say God the Father, and then the Son, and then I think they say the Holy Ghost as well. Well, for me, when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, you've just assigned a gender to a deity, a God. Right? When you say God the Father, well, who the fuck is the mother? right? And then you be like, well, it's God. Well, I'm like, well, damn it. Why did you put a gender on it? Why did you put a gender on God? See how that plays out for someone who's thinking, and thinking is going to be a part of this chapter. For someone who's listening and thinking, why would you assign a gender to God? God the Father. Okay, well, who's the fucking mother? Because in my human mind, from my rational mind, when there's a father and then there's a mother, they have sex that produces an offspring, which is a child. That's not silly. You see that. We see that. So for someone who's learning or trying to understand your religion and your bullshit, and you say God the Father, well, damn, he has a son. Well, who the damn mama is? So I have a problem with that small little detail. He calls the devil he. And I'm like, damn, what the fuck, bro? You've just assigned a gender. Bro, God doesn't need a gender. And I know they did that back in the Greek days. You know, you had Zeus, and then you had these, I forgot the female goddesses and stuff like that. But I'm like, bro, you're assigning a gender. And I'll give you a small example of why I mean that in this chapter 3. All right. Here's another pet peeve I had on page 52, and I won't go too far into it, but this is just some pet peeve I had. It says, the devil's undoing began with a depression in 1929. I'm going to stop right there. The devil's undoing began with the depression in The devil's undoing began. The devil's undoing. I'm like, wow, bro. Like, you've just blamed the devil for the depression in 1929. I'm like, man almighty, man. You just blame something else, but not blaming fault on the fucking humans who caused the Great Depression. It was humans, bro. I'm like, come on, man. There's another part I highlighted. Before I realized what was happening, I found myself caught up in a spiritual and economic hurricane, which evolved into a world of wide catastrophe of such force that no individual or group of individuals could withstand it. The economic hurricane. I totally get that. But the spiritual? What the fuck are you talking about, Napoleon? I don't get that. You're talking about the depression of 1929, but how did it become a spiritual hurricane? I didn't get that part, man. All right, so here we go. Let's get into some more details right here. So, on page 53, he has this part where he says, I realized too the opportunity had come to test a claim I had made hundreds of times, that every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. What, if any, I asked myself, were the advantages to me of a world depression? I understood that. I understood that. What are the advantages to me of a world depression? I think our country, the United States, and the timing of this, the timing that I'm reading this book, and the timing of this situation is damn near, I mean, it's damn near spot on, which is weird. Because I'm like, damn, okay, so they were going through some shit. But he asked a really good question, which I'm seeking wisdom on. I was like, okay, that was a good question. But he wasn't talking to the devil right now. He's not talking to the devil right now. He's just talking. This is right before he gets to the devil. He's asking, what are the advantages to me of a world depression? It sounds silly that I ask and I write I highlight these things, but I'm like, what do I personally gain right now? What do I gain from a world depression? I can't speak to other countries, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and think. I think they might be going through some bullshit too. Now I'm hearing China is on a move, man. I'm hearing China is moving, man. So I don't want to say every country, but damn, the United States, man, we falling behind big time. But the wealthy are getting wealthier. But what do I gain? Right? I'm seeking freedom. I'm seeking success. I don't have it though. I don't have it. And I'm already in the midst of hell right now, if you will. I'm in this crazy funk, this depression, whatever you want to call it, this economic downturn. What do I gain from this? As I'm in this shit, what am I gaining from this? My answer is nothing. My answer is nothing. That is why I am trying my damnness to seek some sort of wisdom to get up out this bullshit. It is a mess, man. I told you, man, if you didn't know, I'm a railroader and this is my 3rd month. I'm in my 3rd month and I have not received a paycheck. That's how bad it is. Here's another one that I wanted to highlight. The world has staged an unprecedented depression over which no human being had control. Which I understand, man. So, in the midst of that, I put a small side note. When he said the world has staged an unprecedented depression over which no human being had control, I put a note here and I said, here he acknowledges the downfall, but he excludes the devil now. You remember how I started this thing and I was like, when he said the devil's undoing began with the depression in 1929. The next page, he says the same thing, but he says it in different words. He says the world has staged an unprecedented depression over which no human being has had control. Okay, so what the fuck, bro? Is it the human control? What the world has staged it? Meaning the world, humans? The world had staged an unprecedented depression in the world. I'm meaning, from my mindset, I'm understanding this to be human beings, the world, countries, nations, whatever the case may be, have staged this unprecedented depression over which no human being had control. No human being had control. Okay, I guess it. If you want to say it that way, if no human being had control, then I guess you want to say the devil? I guess that's what you're trying to implement or insinuate right there. I didn't get that, man. I was like, okay, so I don't know, man. That was a bit confusing to me. There's another part here that I wanted to talk about that bothered me. While I floundered in a state of mental bewilderment, the devil must have been dancing a jig of rejoicing. At last, he had the author of the world's first philosophy of individual achievement pinned under his thumb and paralyzed with indecision. I was like, why did he credit or blame the devil for his downfall? Why does he credit or blame the devil for his downfall? That's the part I didn't get right there. Why did he do that? I'll read that part again. While I floundered in a state of mental bewilderment, the devil must have been dancing a jig or rejoicing. At least he had the author of the world's first philosophy of individual achievement, which is Napoleon Hill, pinned under his thumb and paralyzed with indecision. Why did he give the devil so much credit, bro? At this point, he has not met the devil yet. He has not had the conversation just yet. These are small things before he's meeting the devil. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm trying to figure out, man, why do religious people, why do people in general give so much credit to the devil? This devil, why do they do that? I don't get that. You're blaming the devil for all of this chaos. But I'm like, bruh, what happened? Where's your God, bro? Where's your God? Your God is quiet, bro. Just letting the fucking devil run rampant. I'm like, bro, where's your God? Your God has no say-so in none of this shit. Why isn't your God communicating with you? You're talking to the devil. Why not talk to your God, bro? Why not talk to your God instead of the devil? I don't get that. You're giving so much emphasis to the devil, but you're making the devil seem out to be a bad entity. But you're giving so much attention to the devil. You're saying you're in the depression. I would think even in chapter 2, you were talking about praying. Why not pray to your God? Why are you going to the devil, man? It's weird, out. People are weird. Humans are weird, out. Humans are very irrational, man. Fucking irrational, man. It's tiresome to me, man. Trying to understand human behavior, bro. There's another little thing. This is all before he meets the devil. Just a key point. He uses this phrase called mastermind. What he defines as the mastermind is the harmonious coordination of two or more minds working to a definite end. A mastermind. Oh, I was like, okay, if that's what you want to do, all right. Okay, a mastermind. And I'm like, okay, two harmonious coordination of two or more minds working to a definite end. Why not work with God? Since you praying to him, why not pray to God and get work and have your God's mind? I don't know, man. This book, man, I'm so fucking disappointed, man. This became a spiritual book, man. This has nothing to do so far with my freedom or success. This has more to do with religion. Just some small notes. Once again, we haven't even gotten into the question and answer part. We're almost there. Another part that I highlighted, if he says, if you want my honest personal opinion, I believe the devil is exactly who he claims to be. So when he has this conversation, he believes everything what this devil is saying. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's fucking get into it, man. Okay. So, Napoleon Hill starts it off. He's asking the devil a question. The devil says to him, man, he says some stuff, but he was like, hey, man, you need to address me as your majesty. Wow, your majesty. That's pretty, that's pretty heavy, man, because you are... How can I make this make sense to someone of Christian belief? You've just made the devil your idol. You've just put the devil to a high esteem as if he's royalty. So I would think in my mind that you just made that devil an idol. You've just worshipped that devil by saying your majesty. Am I incorrect or right in my thinking? And Napoleon Hill follows up by saying, but what right do you demand such royal respect? Royal meaning you hold this person at a high esteem, so much so that they are your idol, bruh. They are a king to you. And the devil responds by saying something very important here. He says, you should know I control 98% of the people of your world. Wow. Napoleon Hill says, if you want my honest opinion, I believe that the devil is exactly who he claims to be. And the devil says, I control 98% of the people of your world. Does that move you in any other way? Does that make sense to you? Do you even give a fuck about what's happening right now? If the devil is claiming that he owns 98% of the people of the world, he controls them, what the fuck is your God doing, bro? What the fuck is your God doing? 98% people of the world, only 2% he does not control. I would think your God is useless. Wouldn't you agree? Napoleon Hill asked another question. He says, that is a fine idea. He was talking about something previous. And he acknowledges the devil as your majesty. Excuse me. Napoleon Hill says, start by telling me where you live, then describe your physical appearance. This is something I'm like blown away by. And then this is where I'll get to where I was talking about that gender shit. So the devil's response is, my physical appearance? Why, my dear Mr. Earthbound? He's talking, he calls him Mr. Earthbound. He says, I have no physical body. I would be handicapped by such an encumbrance as those in which you earthbound creatures live. I'm going to put a pin right there. Now, let me repeat that again, because before I listen to what I just read and what I said earlier. Think about what I just said earlier. Napoleon Hill asked, start by telling me where you live, then describe your physical appearance. And the devil says, my physical appearance? My dear Mr. Why? My dear Mr. Earthbound, I have no physical body. I would be handicapped by such an encumbrance as those in which you earthbound creatures live. That is the point I was making earlier. Why in the fuck are you assigning a gender to something that's above you? You're saying your majesty. You're saying that this is the devil. The devil, you're saying the devil says I control 98% of humans on earth. Why are you assigning a gender to something that's beyond you? Ladies and gentlemen, men and just fellas, because I can't talk to women. Women can do what the fuck they want. They are their own gods. Why in the fuck are you assigning a gender to these high beings that you claim exist? I don't get that. The devil even acknowledged what I just said, my questioning. I have no physical body. How can you assign a gender to something that has no physical body? It's not, bruh, listen to what the devil said. I would be handicapped by such an encumbrance as those in which you earthbound creatures live. That is something only for moral people or moral beings. That is not, I don't get why people do that. Why are you assigning, think about it. If you are creating these religions and you have these ideas, why in the fuck would you assign it to the same thing that you have? You've just belittled your imagination. Wow. I'm like, come on, man. This chapter pissed me off. I'm like, Napoleon Hill, if you are talking to the devil, you're asking not even childlike questions, man. You're asking stupid ass questions. You're asking dumb ass shit, man. Where do you live? What the fuck, bro? That's the best you got, bro. That's the best you have, man. Describe your physical appearance. Is that the best you got? So that means you're not physically looking at the devil. That's what I'm getting from this, that you don't physically see the devil. If you're having this interview with the devil, you don't see the devil. Wow. But you're so focused on the physical appearance. That's the first thing you want. What you look like. Then the devil says something very intriguing, man, that I found very intriguing. I consist of negative energy, and I live in the minds of people who fear me. I also occupy one half of every atom of physical matter and every unit of mental and physical energy. Perhaps you will better understand my nature if I tell you I am the negative portion of an atom. Wow, man, that's deep, bro. That is fucking deep, man. And I put in my notes, man, I gotta revisit chemistry, man. That was one subject I wanted to take again, man. I don't know if I've said this so many times on my streams, but man, my undergraduate degree in philosophy has introduced me or gave me the understanding or the interest in learning, have a deeper understanding of physics, mathematics, chemistry, biology, the sciences. Like, I want to understand these things, man. Because when I hear shit like this, I consist of negative energy. Negative energy? That's heavy. Like, what are we talking about? And then the devil kind of says a negative portion of an atom, which I'm thinking the positive and negative charges. I'm like, bro, I need understanding of this stuff. Because if I were to ask you, well, what the hell? Like, if we were taught that the atoms have negative, the protons, neutrons, and electrons, right? That's what we've been programmed to think. And that's what I don't like about the STEM community too. They're not escaping this from me. They've taught us to believe these things, but they have no proof of these things. What the fuck, man? How in the fuck did you find the smallest, tiniest atom, the smallest thing, this book? How can you tell me that this book has protons, neutrons, and electrons? How can you tell me that? Show me that. Show me that. I have not been able to see that in a microscope. I have not been able to see these atoms orbit a nucleus. I have not been able to see that. How in the fuck did you discover this? Who in the fuck discovered this? So now we have the devil saying, I am a negative energy. And the devil is saying, you can, I am a negative portion of an atom. I need to understand that, man. Napoleon Hill didn't go nowhere deep into this shit, bro. He didn't even go nowhere deep into this. Like, whoa. You're a negative? What do you mean you're a negative? What do you mean you're negative? We'll immediately think of something as negative as bad. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. Slow down. You're telling me my body, the things of matter, the devil even explains this, even says this. I also occupy one half of every atom of physical matter. Every physical matter, anything, all the things around you, one half of every atom of physical matter and every unit of mental and physical energy. How can we say a negative thing is bad? So are you saying you're bad? Are you saying you are bad? Huh? Because we associate the devil as bad, and the devil is saying, well, hell, shit, I'm half of you, motherfucker. Are you bad? Napoleon didn't ask any important questions. He didn't ask to go deep. Napoleon, dog, what the fuck, man? This is what I mean about a disappointment, bro. How do we know this shit, dog? Motherfuckers fail me in goddamn grade school or whatever. You know what? These goddamn schools, trash. How about this? Your religion, trash. Napoleon Hill, when you meet the devil, trash. You ain't asking no goddamn important questions, bro. You ain't asking nothing, bro. The devil said, I am half of you right now. I'm half of you. And this is his response. Oh, I see what you are preparing to claim. You are laying the foundation to say that if it were not for you, there would be no world, no stars, no electrons, no atoms, no human beings, nothing. Is that correct? The devil says true, absolutely true. That's his response. That's his response. Oh, I see what you're trying to do. That's what you I'm like, bro, no. You need to be asking deeper questions, bro. Oh man. And then so Napoleon Hill says, well, if you only occupy one half of energy and matter, who occupies the other half? The devil says the other half is occupied by my opposition. This is what I'm trying to get at, man. And I put a little notes here. In my notes, I said, well, wouldn't the other half be considered negative? The devil views the opposition as negative. Napoleon Hill didn't address nothing. Napoleon Hill didn't address anything. And then Napoleon says, opposition, what do you mean? And then the devil says, opposition is what you earthbound call God. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about, man? Napoleon Hill, man. I'm like, bro, wouldn't you pause and think and say, whoa, wait a minute. You're saying, the devil is saying the other half is my opposition. Me, instantly, I'm like, oh shit, wait a minute. So the devil is saying his opposition is negative. But then the devil says he's negative. I'm like, come on. I would have been like, wait, I need clarity here. Hold on, devil. Hold on. I need clarity, man. If you're saying you're the negative energy, how can the other half be a negative energy? Opposition means that they're negative. It's opposition. It's not a positive charge. Do we need to do a goddamn word dictionary here? Is that what we need to do here, man? Opposition. Resistance or dissent expressed in action or argument. Resistance, hostility. I cannot pronounce that word. Please forgive me. I cannot pronounce that word. All these other words in enmity. I have no idea how to pronounce that as well. Objection, dissent, criticism, defiance, non-compliance. These are not positive things. Obstruction. These are not positive words, bruh. So the devil is viewing your God as a negative. Which one is negative? Which one is negative, bro? I'm not gonna blow past this like, oh yeah, oh okay, yeah, that's what the devil says. Yeah. No, wait, hold on. The opposition is saying, well, that's the opposition. I'm confused. Who's the enemy? The devil also gives some more details. I am no beast with a forked tongue and a spiked tail. Who created that image? The pitchfork. Then you got the crazy that's always in red. The spiked tail. The forked tongue. Like who created these images? Another part here, man. Napoleon says you must have many tricks and devices by which you gain and hold control of the human mind. And the devil says, to be sure, I employ tricks and devices to control human thought. My devices are clever ones too. Napoleon says, go ahead and describe your clever tricks, your majesty. Once again, he acknowledges the devil as your majesty, which is that's still mind-blowing to me. And then the devil says, one of my cleverest devices for mind control is fear. Immediately, I have to stop that right there. The devil says, one of my cleverest devices for mind control is fear. For me, that sounds just like religion, bro. That sounds like the God that you believe in. Your God has instilled fear in you. Once again, who's the negative one? Wasn't it your God who destroyed the planet with a flood? Wasn't it your God that says, hey, you shouldn't have any gods before me, but here you are, you have Napoleon calling the devil your majesty? Isn't it your God that said, don't kill, don't steal, don't do these things? You should not do this, you shouldn't do this. Isn't that fear? Hey, if you don't believe in my son, Jesus Christ, you're going to hell. Isn't that not fear, bro? You're going to be like, oh shit, yeah, I don't want that to happen. Hey, how about this? It was the conquistadors, the conquerors, who went around chopping motherfuckers' heads off. Hello, that's why we have this Puritan society in our fucking country now. Like, come on, man. Like, which one is the devil? Who's the devil? What is a negative charge? But hell, the negative charge is sounding like the positive charge. The positive charge, you're saying that God is the positive charge. The positive charge is saying, hey, fear me. Fear me. Worship me. Praise me. If you don't, you're going to die. You're going to live a long-lasting life in hell. That's fear, bro. The devil also says the 6 most effective fears are the fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. Yeah, damn, that's a legitimate fear to fucking have. Fucking, how do you think the fucking wealthy people stay wealthy? They don't want to be poor. They fear being poor. That's a legitimate excuse, bro. I don't want to be poor, bro. Poverty sucks, man. That shit is terrible. I told you, it costs more to be poor. Criticism. I don't have a fear of criticism. Shit, if you want to talk shit about me, that's fine. Fuck it. Ill health. Man, that is a fear. I don't want to be unhealthy, bro. Yes, that's a legitimate fear. I don't want to be sick, bro. That shit is not fun. It doesn't look fun. It doesn't look pleasant. So yes, I'm going to do everything that I can to stay healthy. Loss of love. I didn't get that. Loss of love, like a parent or something. Yes. Shit, damn, I mean, fuck. But then again, I thought about these sucker ass simps out here. You fear losing a bitch that don't give a fuck about you. So yeah, that's an irrational fear. Old age, yes, I can understand that. But however, it depends on how far we're talking in old age. As my 40-year-old self, I am happy about being 40 years old because I'm wiser. I'm listening to myself. I can be rational. I can speak. I can tell you what my thoughts are. I don't have to be emotional in terms of yelling and screaming and doing all these childish ass things. So with old age can sometimes, because there are some old idiots out here. But ideally, I would think old age comes with wisdom, experience. And he says, finally, death. Yes, I fear death. I made a stream a while back ago, a few days, maybe last week. I told you I fear living and I fear death. And I had made a conclusion of my personal philosophy. I believe that life and death are the same. I told you I fear living. I don't understand living. I fear things that I don't understand. I don't understand life. I don't understand death. I put those two simultaneously together because I don't understand them. I've been living, quote unquote, 40 years. I don't understand any of the 40 years. I don't understand humanity. I don't understand anything. These schools, they taught me all this bullshit, this abstract knowledge, and I don't understand it. I just gave you an example. I've never seen a fucking atom orbit a nucleus. I've never seen that shit. You're telling me these things. I have not yet to see it. So like, I fear these things because I don't understand. And then if I don't understand it, how in the fuck am I supposed to handle these things? How am I supposed to maneuver through these things? You're telling me these things, but I don't see any evidence of these things. How am I to operate? So yes, I do fear death. I fear living. I live every day, bro. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening outside my apartment right now. I don't know who's lurking for me. I don't understand it. I don't know. There's always an enemy. Someone is lurking against me. Someone is going to probably watch the stream and say, I don't like this motherfucker. That person will be plotting against me. There are people who dox people on this internet. Yes, I fear living. I fear death. They are the same. I told you they are the same. The only thing that somewhat separates them is a point. What do I mean like that? They're both flowing together. They're synonymous. They're one. They're just one thing, whatever you want to call it, an entity, a being, whatever you want to call it. It's synonymous. The only thing that separates it is this a point, meaning when things are flowing, there's how do we call it in mathematics? There's a derivative. There's a point of change. I don't know how it's flowing. I'm just doing an angle. I don't know how life is and death are flowing. I don't know how this shit operates. It's not linear. I don't think it's linear. It could be described as linear because when you have a living date and a death date, X to Y, whatever you want to call it, you can describe it as linear. That's fine. But when you're living, there's highs and lows and highs, mountaintops, valleys. So life is changing. So I can't just say it's just linear in one straight line, although you can make that argument, however you want to call it. In the midst of that, there are points of changes. There are rates of change. Things happen. There's an increase. There's a decrease. There's something happening. That's what I mean about that. That's the best way I can describe it, man. So yes, by the devil's act, he's most effective there. If you want to say that, sure. Have at it. Have at it. Have at it. Napoleon Hill, with his silly ass questions, which of these 6 fears serves you most often? Why are and then he says, Your Majesty. Why do you give a fuck, bro? Why do you give a fuck, man? Why do you give a fuck? Why do you give a fuck, bro? The devil says the first and the last, poverty and death. So he, or the devil, I should say. The devil serves, the question once again is, which of these 6 fears serves you most often? And the devil's response is the first and the last, poverty and death. Why not? Fuck it. Another part that I highlighted was the devil says, of course, I cannot punish anyone except in that person's own mind through some form of fear. But fear of the thing which does not exist is just as useful to me as fear of that which does exist. I was like, whoa, wait a minute here. Wait a minute here. The devil says, of course, I cannot punish anyone. You cannot punish anyone, devil? So the religious people, even goddamn Napoleon Hill, right in where I had marked, I said Napoleon says the devil's undoing began with the Depression in 1929. So Napoleon is giving so much credit to the devil for all of these downfall things, but the devil is saying, of course, I cannot punish anyone except in that person's own mind. So I'm like, Napoleon, the devil just made a clear statement. The devil just made a key point, and Napoleon just went right over it. It went right over his head. I'm like, okay, Napoleon, you blame the devil for all these things, the depression, the economics, and all these things. And the devil says, I cannot punish anybody except in a person's own mind. So Napoleon, it's not the devil, it's you. You are the fucking problem. You. Once again, poverty. That is the whole meaning. That is why we even gotten to this point. Is because Napoleon Hill doesn't want to be fucking poor. He went through it once. I don't want to go through the whole thing of chapter 1. Chapter 1, he's broke. He's busted. He's disgusted. He's just like me in the sense of trying to make it, man. He's trying to develop. He's trying to make it. He tried a few things and he was successful, but he gave those things up because he wasn't happy, so on and so forth. but he found his other self and he's trying to make it to the top. That's the same thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be successful. I want freedom. But Napoleon Hill, I'm like, brother, you blame the devil you're blaming the devil for all the craziness that's happening in the world. The devil is saying, bro, I'm not doing shit. I'm not punishing nobody. Only it's in your mind that I am. Once again, I ask, who is the devil? How are you outwitting the devil, bro? The devil is telling you shit and it's going right over your head, bro. He's saying, except in that person's mind. Napoleon, it's you that's creating the devil. It's you that's creating these things. Religious people, it's you that's creating these things. Hell, look, I was reading Baphomet. I don't want to lose my page here. I'm reading Baphomet, man. It is Christians. It's Christians who created this. I made a stream on this. It's Christians. You religious people, you're creating this mess, bro. We can't live together in peace for shit, man, because you're creating these problems. The devil, according to Napoleon Hill, the devil says, the devil says, of course, I cannot punish anyone except in that person's own mind through some form of fear. Bro, what are you fearing? Poverty. That's why we're here. It's okay. It's okay to say these things. I don't know why humans, we can't acknowledge these things. It's okay. It's okay to say, I fear God. I fear the devil. I fear this. I fear that. It's okay. It's a human reaction. It's a human response. It's okay. But here's the thing. Can you be like me and say, I just don't understand that shit? I don't understand your God. I don't understand the devil. I don't understand living. I don't understand death. It's okay. It's okay. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I'm not going to succumb and say, oh shit, okay, so I got to jump to believe something now. No, you're making an irrational decision now. It's okay to acknowledge these things. But dog, to make an irrational decision, that's the problem. That's the problem right there. And that's what people are doing, man. And the devil, according to Napoleon Hill, is saying, bro, I'm not punishing you, bro. Only in your mind. What you think, okay, all right, you got it. I got it. I'm in your mind. I'm in your head now. Just like in sports, bro. When somebody upset, and like Dennis Rodman, man, I saw a clip of Dennis Rodman, man. Dennis Rodman, man, this dude was a menace, man. He was a fucking menace. Why? The dude, how about this? Let me say it this way. Dennis Rodman, as a skilled player, I'm not a professional, but just observation. He wasn't the best free throw shooter. He was a good rebounder. Defensively, he was good, but he was a fucking menace more than anything. Why do I use the word menace? Is because he was getting in people's mind. He wasn't as he wasn't as good of as a defensive player as one would think. Yes, he was very good or decent, if you will. He was a really good defensive player, sure. But, however, what made him effective was he would get in people's mind. Fuck your world up mentally. That's how he got you, man. And it's the same principle here. The devil is saying, bro, of course, I cannot punish anyone. I can't punish you. But if you allow me into your mind as being punishment, sure, I'm there. I'm all in there. I don't know how to make that clear, man. And then he says, but fear of the thing which does not exist. It doesn't exist. We're fearing things that don't exist. We have no knowledge of it. So God damn it. I have no knowledge of God. I have no knowledge of the devil. How can I fear it? Why would I fear it? I'll read that whole sentence again. Of course, I cannot punish anyone except in that person's own mind, though some form of fear, but fear of the thing which does not exist is just as useful to me as fear of that which does exist. I'm like, bro, man. And then let me give you Napoleon Hill's response. This is his response. Look how long I'm sitting up here challenging and I'm thinking, I'm processing all this shit and I'm speaking. Listen to what his response is. Your Majesty. Once again, he acknowledges the devil as your majesty. If you don't see that as a problem, man, you need to check your fucking self and your fucking religion. He says, Your Majesty, will you explain how you gain this control over human beings? Bro, he just answered that. He just said the mind, bro. Like Napoleon, bro. I don't know this dude. I don't know his background. I don't know much about him. I just know this book. Someone recommended the book. I don't know about his education level. I don't know. He's touting that he's creating a philosophy of individual achievement, I believe. But I'm like, Napoleon, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Like, come on, man. Fuck, bro. So the devil's response to that is the story is too long to be told in a few words. Then the devil says, it began over 1 million years ago when the first man began to think. Wow. So here's the question that Napoleon said. Your Majesty, will you explain how you gain this control over human beings? He said the story's too long, the story's too long, but he said it began over 1 million years ago when the first man began to think. I underline that, when the first man began to think, and you're saying that the devil gained control when the first man began to think? That is like, come on, man. You're telling me that the devil has control when you think. The devil has control when you think? Ain't that some backwards ass shit? I would think from a rational mind, if you're not thinking, he would have more control. How about this? Your religion wants you not thinking. Your religion doesn't want you to think. Your religion doesn't want you to ask questions. Like, come on, y'all. Come on, man. Up to that time, I had control over all mankind, but enemies of mine discovered the power of positive thought, placed in it the minds of men, and then began a battle on my part to remain in control. So far, I have done quite well by myself, having lost only 2% of the people to the opposition. I'm like, bro, how many more pages, man? Because this chapter just really pissed me off, man. I ain't got too many pages, man. Oh, man. I'm like, Napoleon, bro. You wasting my time, brother. All of this, I'm just like, what the fuck, man? What does this have to do with success, Napoleon? Napoleon asked a question. I take it from your answer that men who think are your enemies. Is that right? I put a note here. I said I would argue men who think are free from God/religion and free from the non-existent. Napoleon says, ask the question. I take it from your answer that men who think are your enemies. Is that right? And the devil says, it is not right, but it is correct. This is part of a weird response. It's not correct. It's not right, but it is correct. I would have been like, what you mean by that, devil? Napoleon didn't say that. He said, tell me, he just went to something else. Tell me something more about the word. I'm like, bro, wait. Come on, Napoleon. I would have been like, come on, man. You come on, bro. What the fuck you mean? You saying it's not right. I asked you if it's right. And then the devil says it's not right, but it's correct. What do you mean it's not right? I don't know, man. Then Napoleon says, tell me something more about the world in which you live. And then here, oh man, I love this part. I love this part right here, man. And it goes to what I was talking about, that goddamn assigning a gender bullshit to a fucking deity, if you will. Napoleon says, tell me something more about the world in which you live in. This is why I was like, whoa, this is deep right here. The devil says, I live wherever I choose. Time and space do not exist for me. I am a force best described to you as energy. My favorite physical dwelling place, as I have told you, is the minds of earthbound. I control a part of the brain space of every human being. The amount of space I occupy in each individual's minds depend upon how little and what sort of thinking that person does. As I've told you, I cannot entirely control any person who thinks. I was like, whoa. Whoa. I'm like, whoa, that's heavy. Listen to Napoleon Hill's response. You speak of your opposition. What do you mean by that? Napoleon, bro. Napoleon, man. I don't know this dude. I don't know his background. But I'm like, bro, you asking the dumbass question, bro. You asking stupid ass questions, bro. I put a note here. I said, I argue that this is what gods say. That's exactly what your religion has said. Listen to the response of the devil. I live wherever I choose. Isn't that what your God says? I'm what? Omnipresent, all knowing. Like, come on, man. They're the fucking same, bro. They're the fucking same. Your God is the fucking devil. They're the same, dog. And then he says, time and space do not exist for me. That's what your God has been saying. I'm omnipresent, all that bullshit. Napoleon, I'm like, Napoleon, you're not outwitting shit, bro. You're asking dumb questions, bro. I'm like, bro, man. This chapter is worse than chapter 2. I'm like, okay, you have the devil's time, if you will. I'm like, brother, ask some deep questionings. Bruh, what is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of death? Like, ask some deep shit, bro. You're asking about goofy shit. You speak of your opposition. What do you mean? What, motherfucker, what do you give a fuck about the opposition right now? You have the devil. Talk about, like, what the fuck do you know? The devil said this. Listen to what the devil said right here. Because your boy Napoleon Hill said, Your Majesty, will you explain how you gain this control over human beings? The devil said, the story is too long to be told in a few words. It began over 1,000,000 years ago. 1,000,000 years ago? Napoleon, bruh, 1,000,000 years ago, devil? Bro, what have you seen? What have you been doing? Like, bruh, like, ask some, like, what the fuck, man? This is not the devil's first rodeo, bro. Figure out what the fuck from the devil's perspective. What the fuck is going on? And the devil is giving him answers, bro. I don't exist in your fucking world from bro. I'm only in your mind. I'm like, bro, the devil is saying he's a negative, but I'm like, bro, he's describing the God that you believe in. You were talking about praying. He's saying the same thing your God is saying. Bruh, the devil said time and space do not exist for me. I am a force best described to you as energy. What the fuck, man? Bro, I don't know much about energy, man. I want to learn energy. I want to understand these things, man. I'm so fucking disappointed, man. How does one learn these things? I'm so desperate to learn and understand these things. We talk about energy. The best thing that I can come up with about energy is, from a human's perspective, is mood. My first degree was music education. I couldn't play music instruments well. I was mediocre, if you will. That wasn't my skill. That wasn't my gift. I was mediocre. But what I had a passion for was the music theory. Why do I bring this up? when we were learning something I loved doing, and what I loved learning was scales, the major scales, the minor scales. There were other scales beyond that, and I was like, whoa, because I had all in my trash ass public education, we were only taught the major scales. How about this? When I was in middle school, we only focused on one scale, the major scale, one B flat scale. That was the only scale we played. When I got to high school, B flat scale was the only scale we played. When I took a choir class, yes. When I took choir, I believe it was a guy, I cannot remember his name, but I believe this gentleman was the one who introduced me to different scales, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't my band director. Somehow, some way, learning multiple scales got into my mind. And it could have been when I visited the campus, TSU, the Ocean of Soul. It could have been when I peeked into their class, their practices, where I heard them doing multiple scales. I don't know how, but somehow I learned that shit. I want to say it was that choir director. It had to have been that choir director, because when he learned that, that's when I immediately started taking my instrument and I was practicing those scales. And yeah, it had to be him, because when that dude mentioned those scales, and I was like, oh shit, and I started trying to learn those different scales, and I went back to him to say, hey, I learned some scales. He wasn't there. So I was like, damn. But I started learning them scales on my own, because the band, we were still doing the same B flat scale, B flat, what we were doing in high school. I'm saying all this to say, with these different scales, they did, from my understanding, they are just different moods. Like the music you listen to. Like I was just listening to a song, The Whispers, In the Mood. When I in the mood, I'm trying, maybe I do it all to get you into. I had a mood in me. I had a mood. I had some sort of mood. I don't know if it's a sentiment or a mood. I had something in me that in that key, whatever key that key was expressing how I felt. That's what I think about how energy is. It's a mood. It's some sort of spirit that we have. And that's the best way that's the only thing I have that I can make as an argument to what a fucking energy is from a human perspective. I know there's different other types of energy. They talk about in space there was dark energy. Like I have no idea what that shit is. No one is talking about it. But from the human perspective, energy is the mood for me. Like you can have a nice vigor, you can be chipper one morning. But the best way to describe that is through music, that I can express that through a mood. When you put music, that's why I think music is very interesting for me, is the spirit that it brings. Like right now, I can hear them playing music downtown. I live in a small town in northern Wyoming, and I can hear them playing music right now. Those people are in the spirit right now. They have a certain mood. My mood is different from theirs. My energy is different. Their energy is different. That's the only thing I understand about energy. But I do miss it, man, that music education, man, because I was like, yo, that unlocked a lot. Man, we're going to go long tonight, man. I'm going to get through this, man. I don't know if you felt that way or feel this way, man, but I'm like, yo, man, that's all I know about as far as energy. He says, I am a force best described to you as energy. If that's the case, man, that energy can change, man. It can change. It can live wherever. Time and space doesn't exist for me. That's important. I mean, like Napoleon, like bro, he didn't stop and say, "Whoa, let's talk about that. What the fuck do you mean? Show me this shit. Let me see what you're talking about." Like, bro, The devil says my favorite physical dwelling place, as I've told you, is in the minds of the earthbound. excuse me, not his. The devil's favorite physical dwelling is the mind. It's all in the mind. It's in the mind. So if it's in the mind, it's the humans that's creating this shit. It's what you conjure up in your mind. I'll give you the example again. Christians created this. They conjured this in their mind. Christians created this and conjured it up. Christians, not the Muslims, not whatever religion you have. It was Christians created that. That's powerful, man. It's in the mind. The devil says, I control part of the brain space of every human being. I control a part of the brain space, a part of it. The amount of space I occupy in each individual's mind, depends upon how little and what sort of thinking that person does. How little they think. The amount of space I occupy in each individual mind depends on how little and what sort of thinking that person does. Is that the saying where they say the devil's mind is something occupied? Whatever they say, I don't know. Wow. As I've told you, I cannot entirely control any person who thinks. I'm like, what does they say? Idle's time is the devil's time? Some bullshit like that. But bruh, the devil says, as I've told you, I cannot entirely control any person who thinks. When the first man began to think. Bro, how is the devil the enemy? The devil said, once again, as I've told you, I cannot entirely control any person who thinks. Thinking is a pleasure. Thinking would be what you want to happen. Thinking would be what you want. If you said, hey, I don't want the devil to occupy my mind, I want to think. How is the devil the enemy? You should be like, hell, let me keep thinking. But who doesn't want you to think? Your God. Your religion doesn't want you to think. Once again, who's the enemy? The devil is saying, I don't want you to think. Your religion is saying, I don't want you to think. The devil and your religion is saying, hey, this is what it is. Don't think. They're controlling you. Once again, which one is the negative? They're the same. They're doing the exact fucking thing. Like, come on, people. Come on, Napoleon Hill, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, man. How does this get me to success, bro? How does this get me to freedom? Okay, well, how about this? Now that I know this information, yes, I'm free from religion. I'm free from that type of fear. Fear of this quote unquote deity and all these things. I don't have that fear. That is amazing, bro. That is amazing that the devil, according to Napoleon Hill, says these things. Napoleon Hill doesn't address nothing, bro. I'm going to keep going and read a little bit more here, man. Napoleon asks, you speak of your opposition. What do you mean by that? And the devil's response is, my opponent controls all the positive forces of the world, such as love, faith, hope, and optimism. Bruh. Love, bro. Are you fucking serious, bro? Are you fucking serious, bro? Love? What are we talking about? Love what? Love for family? Remember, there's so many types of love. We know this romantic love is fucking bullshit. We know this. We know this ideal of love, man. That bitch don't love you, bro. Fellas, that bitch don't love you. She don't love you, bro. She loves what you can do for her, bro. You just a utility to this bitch. Come on, fellas. There is no love. These hoes don't love you. They want what's in your motherfucking pocket, what you can do for them, bro. Just like you. You don't love that hoe. You emotional about the bitch, but you be wanting to fuck that bitch and fuck another bitch and then fuck another bitch. Come on, bro. That's not love, bro. Come on, man. That is not this romantic idea of love that we have in our minds, bro. Come on, man. Let's be real, bro. Yes, you want to fuck that bitch. You want to fuck some more bitches. Come on, man. Come on. And if you are that sucker that just like, man, I just want to love this one motherfucker, you're lying to yourself, bro. That's not how humans work. That's not how we work. Bro, we're not like that, bro. That's not what it's about, bro. What else? Faith. What is positive about faith? What? Hope. Hope is not a strategy. What? Optimism. Okay, I'm optimistic about what? Okay, but that's it? That's what the opponent controls, the positive forces of the world. Optimism, okay, it sounds nice, but okay, but then what? You're optimistic. Okay, think on the bright side. Sure. Okay. They didn't really move the needle for me, bro. When you speak like this, I live wherever I choose. Time and space do not exist for me. I'm a force best described to you as energy. Now that type of shit moves me like, whoa, okay. Whoa. That I don't know, that sparks a hella interest in me. I'm like, oh shit. You can do what the fuck you want. Fuck love. Fuck faith. I would rather be able to move and shake how I want them fucking move. Like that's impressive, dog. Another part that I highlighted, but these forces are meek in comparison with those which operate in the human mind under my control. You see, I do not seek to control stars and planets. I prefer the control of human minds. I put a note here. I said, is the devil implying human minds only exist on Earth? After all, the devil referenced the planets and stars. I didn't know. See, this is what I mean about Napoleon. When you reference planets and stars, I'm like, damn, okay, so you like to control human minds. So are you telling me that there are humans elsewhere, or are we the only humans? Like, Napoleon didn't get into none of this shit. We could have had a whole discussion about astronomy. Like, come on, yo. Did I just move my damn table? I think I did. I'm like, come on, bro. We could have had a deep discussion about astronomy. What the fuck, man? And there's a part in here. There's a part in here. Ooh, ooh, that's what I'm talking about, man. I got excited. Oh, here it is. It's next. It's right here. Let's get right into it. It's right in here. Check this out. Napoleon says, where did you acquire your power and by what means do you add to it? Fuck all that bullshit. I highlighted this part. I'm going to read this part and I'm going to tell you why I highlighted this part. The devil says, I add to my power by appropriating the mind power of the earthbound as they come through the gate at the time of death. Blah, 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 whatever. 98 out of 100. He already said this. He's repeating him. The devil is repeating himself. And Napoleon, excuse me again. The devil is repeating the words. 98 out of 100. We already talked about who came back to my plane from the earth plane are taken over by me, and their mind power is added to my being. I don't know if you caught that, but I'll read this sentence one more time, and I'll let you, since we're talking about astronomy, 98 out of every 100 who come back to my plane from Earth plane are taken over by me, and their mind power is added to my being. If you didn't catch that, I'll tell you why. I gotta sneeze again. Holy shit. Holy shit. How much power do I have on my goddamn laptop? I might not be able to. I got 42%. We can keep going a little bit longer. If you didn't catch that, the devil says, from my plane. And he's not talking about the airplane. He's talking about the plane, the flat plane. Earth is flat. He says the devil says earth plane. Earth is flat. The devil just exposed a truth that, dog, this motherfucker just overlooked. Once again, he was in the 1920s, so I don't know the thought process. And we're going to get a little bit more into that because he talks about something. But anyway, earth is flat according to the devil. And then the devil says back to my plane. So wherever that plane is, it's flat. Do you follow me, man? Do you follow me, man? Do we need to look up the word plane? We need to cut this bullshit out, man. Earth is flat, bro. Earth is fucking flat. Earth is fucking flat, man. Plane, definition. A flat surface on which a straight line joining any 2 points on it would wholly lie. A horizontal plane. Completely level or flat. Flat, level, horizontal, even, flush, level, true. Bro, we need to cut this bullshit out, bro. We need to cut this bullshit out. The devil, according to Napoleon Hill, the devil says 98 out of every 100 who come back to my plane, which is flat, from the earth plane are taken over by me and their mind power is added to my being. Since we're talking about astronomy, earth is flat. Fuck y'all. Let's see. I get all who come over with any form of fear. You see, I am constantly at work preparing the minds of people before death so I can appropriate them when they come back to my plane. He says it, the devil says it again. And I'm going to put a note here. I said, fear is what drives people to religion. Fear keeps people from thinking. The devil sounds like God. I'll continue here. Napoleon Hill says, will you tell me how you got about your job? Excuse me. Will you tell me how you go about your job of preparing human minds so you can control them? Man, Napoleon, bro. Bro, he is asking the most dumb shit. I'm like, bro, come on, man. Come on, man. How many more pages I got, bro? Because he's boring me, bro. You might be saying I'm boring your ass, too. How about this? I'll stop it because he's going to get to one of the people that I admire and see if I can get it over here, too. Yeah, we'll stop it on the next page. So we'll keep this stream as short as possible. But he asked that question, will you tell me how you go about your job of preparing human minds so you can control them? I don't like this question, but the devil's response is where the meat of this is. The devil says, I have countless ways of gaining control of human minds while they are still on the earth plane, flat. My greatest weapon is poverty, which the devil has already answered. I'm like, Napoleon, why aren't you checking this shit? The devil is saying the same shit over and over and over and over. And you're asking stupid ass shit. And the devil keeps giving you the same stupid ass answer. I ain't gonna say stupid ass answer, but giving you the same answer. My greatest weapon is poverty, which the devil has already said. Poverty and death is the tools. I deliberately discourage people from accumulating material wealth because poverty discourages men from thinking and makes them easy prey for me. I highlighted that. I'm going to pause right there. We're almost finished. I'm going to do this part in the next part. The devil is saying this according to Napoleon. I deliberately discourage people from accumulating material wealth because poverty discourages men from thinking and makes them easy prey for me. Deliberately discouraging people from accumulating wealth. That sounds like religion. That sounds like people of... I can't attack any other religion but Christianity because that's the one I'm most familiar with. When I was growing up, Christianity, Baptist, that's what I grew up knowing. Excuse me. I was forced to embrace that religion. I was forced to take on that religion. It wasn't until I became an adult, a man, to start thinking on my own. That is when I said, yo, something's wrong. This was about maybe 2015. I was like, something is wrong, bro. When I'm looking up and I'm like, I was committing to myself to the religion, Christianity, Baptism, or whatever you want to call it, Baptist. I was like, hey, I'm going to church. I'm giving my money. But I wasn't gaining nothing in return. I gained nothing in return. Meaning I didn't get any wisdom. I didn't get any understanding. I got nothing in return. I got no wealth in return. They say don't give it. You're supposed to give because of your heart. Bruh, I got fucking bills. What's that saying they say in the Christian, money is the root of all evil. I'm like, that's the most stupidest motherfucking thing you can say, bro. These goddamn, and I think it was Charleston White who made this recent point. I saw this. I wish I had this, man. Charleston White was like, why in the fuck do these pastors ask for money? He was like, why are preachers and pastors asking their congregation for money? He was like, that's not the congregation's responsibility. He was like, your God challenged you or called you to preach. How about your God funds your lifestyle? Right? That wasn't the people's, and this is when I left the church, man. I left the church, I want to say 2015. Maybe 2016. 15, 16, maybe 2017. Between those years. I was like, bro, I'm broke. I was a teacher at this time. I was a high school teacher. And I'm like, bro, I'm not gaining any wisdom. I'm not gaining any money. I'm like, bro, I'm hurting right now. If you know the life of a teacher, they don't make money, man. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck, man? I just don't get it, bro. The devil acknowledges it right here, bro. I deliberately discourage people from accumulating wealth. These Christians and these religions, they have this moral compass. Oh, you shouldn't do it for money. You should do it for love. I'm like, no, motherfucker, pay me. I just saw a clip on Soul Train. If you guys don't know what Soul Train is, this guy named Don Cornelius. He passed away. He used to host a show called Soul Train, and they had many of the music artists, come and perform on the show. And then you had these young kids. I shouldn't say kids, but young adults who used to dance. And I just saw it on maybe TikTok, and they was like the young kids. They was young adults. They were like, man, we wasn't getting paid. I'm like, bro, get your fucking money, bro. That's what I'm on right now, and that's what I encourage everybody. Men, I can only speak to men. Women, like I said, they can sell their goddamn peace leave, and motherfuckers will be right on it. But fellas, man, get your money, bro. That's something I wish someone told me when I was a lot younger. Dog, money first. Money first. I used to hear it on music, but I didn't really grasp the concept. When they used to say MOB, money over bitches, man, money over everything, bro. I mean that shit, bro. Money over everything, bro. That is us men. That is how we get shit done. That's how we accomplish shit. That's how we get access to resources. We gotta have money, bro. A bitch ain't gotta have nothing. She just show up and motherfuckers give them every fucking thing. Motherfuckers simp out. Motherfuckers trick out. Motherfuckers do all kinds of shit. A woman ain't gotta show up to the club with no money. Yo broke ass, how about you try to show up to the club with no goddamn money? Get your money, fellas. The devil said, I discourage people from getting money. That sound like religion, bro. Religions be saying that shit. You're supposed to not do it for money and love, and money is the root of all evil and all that goofy ass goddamn ass shit. Then the devil says, because poverty discourages men from thinking. Now that part, I'm like, bro, UBI, universal basic income. That is basically poverty, bro. It's going to discourage you from thinking. I don't want that shit, man. I don't want that shit for my life. This is what I mean about bossing the fuck up and getting into a wealthy mindset, a wealthy state of living. Because this universe, bro, we're losing jobs. There was something on YouTube. Let me see something, man. I haven't even saw the clip. Let's see if it shows up. No, it ain't show up. Damn it. There was a YouTube video. About it. Anyway, so my whole point of saying this is that jobs are going away. The jobs that we had of the past are going away. Sure, there will be innovation of new creation of ideas and all of this stuff. Sure, fine, whatever, man. But the simple fact that jobs are going away now. What was it? UPS? Not UPS. Was it UPS? I think it was UPS. Coach Greg Adams made a video about it, and then I saw it again. I forgot where I saw it. But they were laying off. They were giving these people packages to leave. Even with my railroad company, bro, they've been laying off motherfuckers. They did it in Montana, and then they did it, I want to say, in Nebraska. Bro, I'm going to give you a tidbit. I live in northern Wyoming. They're eliminating one of our close near cities terminals. They're closing it down for some odd reason. They want to do some sort of triangle thing. This is the word. It's not official. But the word is that they want to eliminate that terminal that's in a city that's east of my city. They want to get rid of that city. And so I'm like, those workers are going to come over where I stay. That's going to move me. I'm a lower ranking seniority. I have low seniority. That's going to move me out of a job. That's coming very soon. I'm saying all this to say that jobs are becoming very limited. AI is here. The economy is trash. So on and so forth. Bro, universal basic income is on the way, man. I don't know when they're going to roll this shit out. But I'm like, what are these people doing? You have people still who have student loan debts. You have people who have these houses. Remember all these independent women? I got a house. You can't tell me shit. I got a house. Bitch, you ain't got no job. You ain't got no fucking job right now. How the fuck you gonna pay for that house? Universal basic income is on the way. I don't want the shit. I refuse to take that shit. It sounds nice because you be like, oh, I can work less and the government is going to give me a check? Shit. Bro, they've already rolled out studies on this shit. It's not good, man. I travel quite a bit, man. Well, I traveled recently to South Dakota just for a little bit and came back. And I'm looking over, man, and I see these cows and horses and shit. And I'm like, man, that's how we're going to be, bro. Humans. We're just going to be lazy and lethargic, bro. We're just going to be eating You're just going to be grazing the fields, laying around. We're not going to be thinking. You're going to be in a life of luxury, if you will. You're just going to be relaxed. You're just going to be lazy. You're not going to be thinking. The devil is saying, poverty discourages men from thinking and makes them easy prey for me. Bro, universal basic income is poverty. Listen to the word. They're telling you the words. Universal. This is universal. Meaning it could be nationwide, it could be globally. But it's gonna be a global thing. It could be a nation thing. But it's gonna be universal, meaning it's gonna stretch. What you get over here, they're gonna get the same thing over there. Basic. It's basic. It's the bottom of the barrel. It's the basic form of the monetary value that you're gonna get. Income. You're gonna get the universal basic income. That is horrible, man. I'm like, yo, I don't want that. And here's the kicker. I know what they're gonna do. Excuse me. I know they're gonna tax that shit. They're gonna give you the bare minimum and they're gonna tax that shit. Bruh. That is, the devil is saying, poverty discourages men from thinking. You're not going to be thinking, bro. You're going to take that cash and you're just going to do nothing, bro. That's discouraging. You're not going to think. And it makes them easy prey for me, man. My next best friend is ill health. An unhealthy body discourages thinking. Wow. An unhealthy body. And I put a note. What is the measure or standard of a healthy body? What do we call healthy? What is healthy? You got these motherfuckers that's super natty, man. I mean, they in a gym, natty. But I'm like, bro, they not healthy, bro. You're taking steroid. You're taking all kinds of drugs and shit. Is that healthy? Is that the standard of health? Like, what do we call healthy, man? Then the devil says, then I have countless thousands of workers on earth who aid me in gaining control of human minds. Yes, that's religious people. Go out and tell the world about your Lord and Savior. Bro, you're helping. The devil is saying it's him, or the devil is saying it's the devil that likes this control. But I'm like, yo, that's your religion. Hey, brother, let me talk to you about the Lord and Jesus Savior Christ. I think it's the Mormons. They ride on the bikes and they had the guys with the white shirts, and they ride Jehovah's Witness knocking on your door. These people are going out doing this shit. They're not helping. They're not helping you to think, bro. They're out to program you. They're little agents. We talk about AI agents. They're little agents. Just going out. It's just little agents going out. Trying to corrupt your goddamn mind. Oh. Listen, look. I just said agents and I wasn't even looking at the next sentence. The next sentence says, I have these agents placed in every calling. Bro. Come on, man. I know I'm not going crazy. I might not have all the answers to life. I might not have what I need to get successful. I might not have it right. I do have what I need. I just don't have the vision or what it is I need to do to get to the next level, if that makes sense. But I know I'm not stupid. I know I'm not going crazy. I am thinking. I'm thinking. Bruh, what the devil has just described is the same thing as what your God, your religion is describing. I have countless thousands of workers on earth who aid me in gaining control of human minds. Hell, let's take it off the religion. Let's take it out. I've been going hard on religion. Let's take it off religion. Hell, it's politics. It's governments. It's propaganda. These people that have their missions to control your mind. Hell, you get on social media, you're scrolling. They're controlling your mind. There's no rational thought, or less of it, less rational thinking. And the devil says, I have these agents. The little agents, bro. That's what they're little tricklets. Just, hey, do you know your Lord and Jesus Savior Christ? Like, bro, you're an agent, man. You're an agent, bro. You're just here to do the little dirty work, man. You're just here to do the dirty work. You can't answer no questions. All you're just gonna do is repeat the gargly goo. Bro, we doomed, dog. We're doomed as human beings, man. I have these agents placed in every calling. They represent every race and creed, every religion. This is the devil saying this. They represent every race, whatever you want to be, whoever you want to be, and whatever creed you are. Whatever you are, in every religion, bro. The devil is saying this. The devil is saying, I have these agents placed in every calling. They represent every race and creed, every religion. Who is the devil? What is the devil? Because that sounds like your God saying shit like that. Bro, man. Listen to motherfucking Napoleon Hill. Listen to Napoleon Hill's just a few more minutes, y'all. Napoleon Hill's response. Who are your greatest enemies on earth, your majesty? Napoleon Hill.
Trash.
You trash, bro. You trash, man. Bro, he's asking these bro, anybody else, do you think like this?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious? That he's asking these type of questions, bro? The devil said all of this. All of this. Do you see how long it's taken me to get through this shit? Do you see? I'm blown away by this type of shit. And Napoleon Hill, all he can muster up is, who are your greatest enemies on earth? Your Majesty.
Trash.
Man, I tell you, man. I don't know much about Napoleon Hill, man. But I tell you, man, this dude is asking. He's not. A lot of shit blew right over his head, bro. Right over his head. He is not a good interviewer. Let's say that. How about that? He cannot interview at all. And then the devil responds, all who inspire people to think and act on their own initiative are my enemies. These are his enemies. Let me repeat that again. The devil doesn't like these type of people. All who inspire people to think and act on their own initiative are my enemies. Doesn't that sound like your religion? Doesn't that sound like your politics? Doesn't that sound like that? They don't want you to think, man. Don't think. Who's the enemy? You say the devil is the enemy. That sounds just like your religion. when you get to asking questions, I remember there was a little skit Kevin Hart, the comedian, had, and he was like I think he said it was his daughter when she was a kid, and she asked him, "Hey, what's something? I forgot. What's a TV or some shit like that?" And then he got to a question where the question, I wouldn't say, the little girl said, "What is program?" I believe that was the question. Let me see if I can find it real fast. Let's see. Oh, no, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. Let's see. I'm not gonna be able to find it. I won't find it. Sorry to belabor the point, but my point of saying all of that is that he had no response to his kid when the kid asked him something that he couldn't answer. And it's kind of like how religion is and politics. When you start asking heavy hitting questions, you'll hear some gargly goop, or you'll hear, "Don't ask me a goddamn thing. Who the fuck are you to ask me some shit?" Right? That's the kind of response you get. And I'm like, you're saying that the devil is bad, but hell, your religion does the same thing. Your politicians do the same thing. He names some enemies. The devil names some enemies. Such men as Socrates, my favorite. That's how I got started in philosophy. Shout out to Socrates, man. Confucius. I'm reading Confucius right now. I'm reading Confucius right now. So I'm on the right track, brother. I am on the right fucking track, man. Voltaire. I believe Voltaire, if I'm not mistaken, was doing plays. I can't remember. Emerson. I'm not familiar with Emerson. Thomas Paine. I've heard the name. I'm not familiar with. And then they said, and Abraham Lincoln. And you are not doing me any good either. I guess he meant that. I guess the devil meant that Napoleon Hill is not doing him any favor. Is not doing any favor. I guess by chapter 1, because chapter 2 in this chapter ain't doing shit for me. Last little part I'm gonna talk about, man, is another last name that is being name dropped. And the question is it true that you use men who have great wealth? Now this one might be a good question. I think that was a good one. I'll repeat that again. Is it true that you use men who have great wealth? Right? Because the devil has been hinting, hey, I want your ass poor. I want you in poverty. And Napoleon asked a good question, I think. Hey, what about the wealthy people? Can't you use their ass too? So here's the devil's response. As I've already told you, poverty is always my friend because it discourages independence of thought and encourages fear in the minds of men. Let me mention another thing, man, that I was thinking about today. How I gotta get away from my job now as a railroader, or just I have to get away from being an employee because it discourages me. What does it discourage me from? My independence, just as the devil has just said. As an employee, I'm never going to be free. I'm going to be dependent. Meaning I'm depending on someone else to provide some sort of trade for my time, for money. I'm working for a paycheck. I have to break away from that. So that's one thing that I got from this, which I already knew, and I'm learning this, and I have to figure out my plan as soon as possible. I have to be free. I have to be free, man, because my freedom, I want to experience freedom, man. I really do. Because being an employee is slavery, man. It is difficult, man. It's very difficult. I'm not going to talk about the story again, how my job fucking just... I told you, I'm in my 3rd month and I have not gotten a paycheck, man. And I don't look for sympathy, man. Because there's other people who's going through worse shit. Going through the same or worse. But I won't ever experience freedom. And I did a show yesterday. Kevin O'Leary talks about alongside of this shit. But I won't ever experience true freedom unless I become an entrepreneur. Or in my case, what I'm trying to do is get to the I quadrant. Shout out to Robert Kiyosaki over here. The 4 quadrants. I won't ever experience true freedom. So I agree with this sentiment here, this wording. As I've already told you, poverty is always my best friend because it discourages independence of thought and encourages fear in the minds of men. Yes, it's scary for me. I do have fear. I'm going to admit that. I do have fear because I have been an employee my entire life. I've always sought out trading my time for a paycheck. And now it's difficult. That's why I started reading this book, because I thought this book would inspire me in a way to find how to bridge the gap from me being an employee to at least getting into the B quadrant, the business quadrant. And it's fearful, man. I am fearful, man, because I don't know what to expect. You know, I'm already hitting rock bottom, so I'm like even more motivated to just go out, man. Just go. Just go. It's even worse now. The fear is kicking in because it's like, bro, it's already bad out here. What do you have? Hell, I got YouTube. I do have that. So I'm going to be streaming as much as I can, man. I mean, I can use that monetization, man. Hit the like button for me. Send me some damn comments and subscribe. So I get that. I really get that. I got that point right there. Not saying that I agree. What I am saying is I acknowledge what poverty does to the mindset of people. Some wealthy men serve my cause while others do me great damage, depending upon how the wealth is used. Note that. And then this is where the part where I was like, oh, hell no. The great Rockefeller fortune, for example, is one of my worst enemies. And I was like, bullshit. Bullshit, man. This is where I'm gonna end it on this one. No disrespect to anyone, but when I mean this out of sincerity. The Rockefellers, one of the quotes that has been given to me or told to me is that Rockefeller wanted workers, a nation of workers, rather than a nation of thinkers. So either Napoleon Hill or the devil, one of them are lying, or both. However, the devil did say, depending upon how the wealth is used. I'll give that leeway. But I can tell you, Rockefeller, man, Rockefeller didn't want a nation of thinkers. Hence, and then the author of the book here, Sharon Letcher, she uses a common word, philanthropy. So they hint, these people are being philanthropic. They're giving their money away to help the people in the small communities in Africa and all these things, or like Bill Gates with the drugs. I'm here to save lives through drugs and all that bullshit. It's bullshit, bro. Let's be honest, man. These wealthy people are not being philanthropic because I care. I care about the small black communities. All that bullshit. If we could be honest, man, the wealthy are doing these things for tax purposes. And in the Rockefeller example, they are doing these things to implement their belief systems, their philosophies into society. Hence, we have the Rockefeller education. I want a nation of workers, which should go in line with the damn devil. How the devil's saying, no, I don't want you thinking. Hence, we have the shitty public education school system.
Trash.
Trash, man. Trash. They're not teaching me to think. They're just teaching me to work. And then here we are, X amount of years later, we can't find jobs because there's no work. There's no fucking work. Now what?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
How about this? How about this? This is one book that I read. I recommend this book. What Would the Rockefellers Do? This book was encouraged for me to read, and I encourage you to do the same. What this book has in here is more valuable than the education that you are getting. Generally, because I don't know what education you have. Generally, the public school education system, hell, even these Ivy League schools, Mr. Kevin O'Leary said it yesterday. He was like, yo, he trains or teaches these Harvard school people, these kids, adults, whatever you want to call them, young adults. And he was like, I think he said 2/3 of them, they go off to be consultants. And he was like, yeah, they're a waste. And he didn't say that in those words, the waste. But he was like, bro, they lost. They lost, man. You went to Harvard, bro, and then you go to be a consultant. You work for somebody else, man. You're an employee. That's what I mean, bro. The education system, it has. Now, everybody can't be a business owner. True, I get that, man. But that's why I want to be in that small percentage of people who can think like the Rockefellers. This is what's not being taught in the education school system. It's by Garrett Gunderson and Michael Isom, I believe. That's how you pronounce that. The school systems are not teaching this. I would like to share what's in this book, but I'm like, yo, you got to read that one on your own because that's so valuable, bro. That's too valuable. It's too valuable, man. This is what I'm talking about, man. That Rockefeller education didn't teach that. It taught a nation of workers. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's some bullshit right there, bro. That's some bullshit, bro. They don't teach us the real shit. How to make money. Go get some money. Start businesses. They don't teach that type of shit. Right? And here I am. I'm trying to gain wealth. And I'll give you a tidbit. You have the Vanderbilts, who is a wealthy family, man. Wealthy. Wealthy. Just as the Rockefellers. They didn't keep their money. There's a secret how the Rockefellers kept their money. They don't teach this in school. They don't teach you to think about that, how to keep it. The Vanderbilts didn't do it. The book shared that the last known Vanderbilt is what's his name from the CNN? Anderson Cooper. They said his mom blew all the fucking money, the rest of it, blew it all. Anderson Cooper had to fight for where he got. The Vanderbilt name didn't even get him the spot where he is. He had to claw his way, from my understanding. He had to claw his way to get where he is. Schools don't teach us how to get the money, how to keep the money. They don't teach us that type of shit. But you say that's the devil. You say that's the devil. The devil saying, yo, I don't want you to think. But he says the Rockefellers might be like, nah, man. Rockefeller just as dirty as the rest of them, bro. Just as dirty, bro. Just as dirty.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
I'm going to end the stream on that right there, man. I'm going to end the stream on that one, man. Man, I went 2 hours on this one, man. I wasn't trying to go 2 hours, but this one was a long one, man. It was so much. I'm like, Napoleon, according to him, he has this interview with the devil, and he didn't ask any tough, hard-hitting questions. He didn't get in depth with anything. He just kept repeating his questions. I'm like, the devil just answered that. Why are you? I'm like, oh. Yeah, man, this was a tough one, man. But I'm not gonna let it discourage me, man. I've started another one. I started a new book. I started a new book. The One Thing. I started a new one, man. I'm searching, man. I'm seeking. I'm searching for wisdom. I don't know about you, man, but I got to get this money. I got to get this money. I don't know how, but I'm searching. I'm going to keep trying things, keep doing things. I'm not going to fail, man. I'm going to fail. It's part of it. It's part of the game. But I won't give up. I won't give up. And I'm going to show you. So this is a part of my journey, and I want to show you. So if anyone ever asks, hey, man, hey, you see it right here. I'm showing you. I'm giving you the evidence. I'm giving you from square one. From the ground, from nothing. So that's why I'm like, yo, I'm glad to be here streaming, man. I'm documenting my life, my beginnings. So this is new for me. I'm like, yo, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that. To share that, to document it. I appreciate you for tuning in, man. Hit the like button for me. Please subscribe. Send me comments. I really appreciate that. I really would appreciate that, man. I thank you for watching. I thank you for just stopping by. I really appreciate it all. All right. As always, peace of mind, peace of heart, peace of spirit, man. Just peace. And fellas, man, we got to do this. We got to take care of ourselves, man. We got to be kind to ourselves. It's the only way we can continue to have peace. All right.
Just let me eat you one term. You gonna sleep for 3 days, my baby. I'm gonna make you cry.
How you gonna show us?
Ay, ay, ay!